Hello, everybody. How you doing?
How
My
you doing?
name is Wendy Williams Hunter, and I have a Saturday night special for you. It's a big event. It's the movie of my life. It's my biopic. I am the executive producer. I was involved heavily with choosing Sierra and Morocco to play characters of Wendy and Kevin. The other characters do not look like my family, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is that a story gets told. The other characters don't even look like friends of mine or coworkers or anything like that. Um, it's a story that I did not want to be distracted by, famous people playing. In addition, I'm a businesswoman and, I have a deal with Lifetime. It's not about just this Wendy event tomorrow. It's a long-standing deal. I have a little office space there, and I'm on the phone and helping other people who want projects, whether it be sitcom for Lifetime or whatever. So I have a production company aspect over there, and it was important to tell the story because I have blabbed on the mic all of my life. I've blabbed on the mic since I was a child. As you saw, I had that type of personality. I was born with it. I'm going to do things my way, and I'm going to come back and show you with a nice hug and a bless your heart, how it'll work. And I'm a good person. I've got a big heart, and I'm very generous. And now is the right time. I'm finished with Kevin. I don't regret falling in love with him, but I also don't want to be with him. He's not my partner or business partner or the father to my child. That's all he is right now. And my first true love. I will never love like that again because I am not that young and idealistic about the world. And I have too much to lose to throw myself into an individual like that. And the person that I want to meet will have similar situations. He would have already been married. He would have already had children. He doesn't want any more children. I am not going to be a stepmother to, a 10-year-old. My son doesn't need a new father. He's got a father. And I don't need to love like that anymore. I need love in a new way. And I'm open to that. The documentary was really important, Tyler, because the documentary showed real people who were really there, and many who are still here in my life. Real people who picked up the phone when Lifetime called and said, look, we are doing this documentary on Wendy. Wendy's given us her wish list. And, if you have the time, and because time was of the essence, with Corona, at the time we shot it, Corona was a buzzword. It wasn't in full effect. Or yes, it was. Actually, yes, it was. That was shot at the end of August. So we were going into our 13th season, and it was during the summer, and it was hot, and a lot of people were on vacation and could not come to the studio, and we didn't want to Zoom the documentary. We wanted people to be there in the studio space that we had rented. And there's a budget. The budget is, Wendy, you're not, the biggest producer here on Lifetime. You're just getting started in this end of things. And I understood that, but I do hope that the Wendy event becomes the most watched thing for the year 2021 on Lifetime. Then I get a little bonus. And, they'll entrust with me, a lot more projects than they've already entrusted me with. And I'm up for it because I run my own life now. When the show ends at 11 a.m. here, in Chelsea, home of the Wendy Williams show, I'm free to Zoom in or run across town or get on conference calls with other things I'm doing with my life. And one of those big things would be Paramount, not Paramount, but Lifetime. And one of the other big things, of course, being mother to my son, Kevin, who's a junior in college. He's about to enter his junior year, actually. No, he's about to enter his senior year. Yeah, he's finishing up his junior year now. He goes to college in Miami, and he's been through a lot. He only knows me being a showgirl, and he loves me and protects me and encourages me and tells me when I've done wrong. And, sometimes at 20, and we all remember being 20, we can act 40, and then the adults in our lives will have to, put us back in our place, or we can act 5. Mom, I don't know how to do this. Like our conversations are so all over the place. So, and when I go home at the end of a long day, it's nice to be living alone. I go in my house, I can eat what I want, I can go to sleep when I want, I wake up when I want, other than, when I have business meetings, and I have 25,000 alarms to wake me up. I've got the cats. I've got a nice life. And it was just important to tell it from both perspectives. Seeing it acted out with actors. But once you watch, Tyler, because you only watch the movie, once you watch the documentary, you're going to hear from the people who pay the rent in this building, who sign my checks. My big bosses are in there co-signing on everything that the movie depicts. Vinnie Brown, who was the big boss at WBLS, he was the program director there. He was the one who trusted me to, instead of playing these 3 songs coming up, can I please take the time and dish the dirt? Can I gossip? Can I do hot topics? And Vinny said, no, Wendy, that's not how they want it. And I'd lock him out of the studio. And he wouldn't be able to get in. He'd be disgusted. The bigger bosses, his bosses, would tell them, suspend me for a week without pay. And I would take that L because I was doing what I was doing. And I knew I wouldn't be homeless from it. If anything, it made me happy because they didn't fire me. And as long as I get in trouble, but you don't fire me, I'll be back and make you understand in a nice way why it is the Wendy way sometimes is the good way. But I want you to join forces with me and help us make it better, help us make it bigger, there's something in the Wendy way for everybody. And that's how we've been on TV here for 12 years. It is very unusual for a show to last for 12 years, whether it's a sitcom or whatever. And I had so many doubters, including myself. I didn't know where I was going to be getting my next meal after a year on TV. If I even got the year. I mean, this started as a 6-week sneak peek. That was a trial. And during that 6 weeks, I would hustle right over to BLS and plug in my headphones and do that. I don't want to quit. Excuse me. Because I don't know whether the 6-week sneak peek will last in the 4 cities that we were on in. But it did last. And on the last day of the 6-week sneak peek, I was told the good news while I was on the show during a commercial break, and they wheeled out the confetti cannons, and it was just simple, happy. And then they needed a year to do promotions and build a studio and hire the proper staffing for a real show. And for that year, I was still at BLS, but knowing that, I wouldn't be able to do both because it wouldn't be fair to my son and it wouldn't be fair to my husband, who I knew I was going to be divorcing, but still I needed all the money I could possibly get to afford the divorce, to afford to be able to live like Wendy, and to be able to afford for my son to live the only way he's known. And it was too early in his life for him to suffer, way too early in my life for me to suffer. I worked way too hard. I was somebody before I met Kevin Hunter, and we got together and fell in love fast and deep. And you saw in the movie how much I loved him. Mm-hmm. So now, Tyler, I would like to ask you, what were some of the poignant scenes in the movie that we can discuss today?
Yeah, well, I thought I was going to ask, because it was kind of surreal watching moments like, like the moment, first of all, just like the HIV moment where you're getting tested, that fear, I felt that. And then the scenes with the miscarriages were so heartbreaking. But then I thought it was really interesting looking at the scenes like when you were in the Statue of Liberty costume and passed out on live TV. And I was like, it must be like surreal kind of watching these like really sensitive moments of your life like play out again. I wondered if you had any thoughts about that. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting, really beautiful.
Well, the actress who played me, Sierra Payton, she and I had each other's telephone numbers, outside of Lifetime. We became like girlfriends on the phone. She'd come in from a hard day's of work, and I was never able to go up to where they were filming in Canada because of Corona. They were literally in a Wendy camp, and they shot that movie in just over a month. quick and fast. They worked it and they shot it. And she would say, okay, Wendy, tomorrow we're doing the Statue of Liberty, fainting. I've watched it online, several times. I've been practicing in the mirror several times. I want to know, what did you think? What were you feeling? And when Kevin came downstairs and picked you up, what were your thoughts? Everybody's backstage, you've got an audience full of people, and what were you thinking? And I told her, okay, do not act like a baby. Do not act like a woman who's fallen, which something like that, you deserve to act like that. You act like a woman who, these ratings better be great from this. I don't have a headache. No, because this is how I was feeling. I don't have a headache. My costume didn't show my crotch. I think I fell very daintily. I got up afterwards, drinking some water, signed off on the show. I've got to call my banker and find out where we're at with money, because I'm divorcing him. He comes in and picks me up and everything. And I was like, nigga, please. But I didn't act like that. I acted like this. And my staff and crew here at the show and the studio audience, everybody was feeling so sorry for me. And I had to go along with that role without being too rollish in that. Mm-hmm. But I went along with it, and I said, if everybody here, I'm speaking to God and, speaking in my head, I'm saying, if everybody here just sticks with me, I'm going to come out a winner, and this place is going to be like Disneyland all over again, because I could only be like that when Kevin wasn't around. When Kevin would come around, he was the dark force over everything. My radio station banned him while they didn't fire me. Vinnie Brown banned him. He was disruptive. He was loud, disruptive, bullyish. He would tell anybody, from my general manager to my program director to my coworkers, what to do, how to be, where to stand, where's my wife. He was disruptive. And that's what was going through my mind. I've got to handle press with this. How do I want to handle the press? I do not want the press department at the Wendy show to say, no comment or whatever. Wendy, get it together. You will not leave this building today without giving a statement to the publicity department to give. Then whatever the show wants to politically correct, add onto it. But this is what I want. And I didn't even tell them. I wrote it down. I said, now you pass this along to, I told one of the interns, I said, run along. You're saying a lot right now. You're an intern today, but today's intern is tomorrow's boss. So do it quick. And then bring me some orange juice back over here. The paramedics who were tending to me here in my office, oh my gosh, it was like a hospital in here within like 10 seconds. Chaos out there, people still crying. And I'm in here, texting the banker, pick up. And she calls up, tells me what's good, calling the captain of my doctor team saying, okay, I need you to draw some blood. I mean, the paramedics are here. All right, I'm going to put you on the speakerphone with them. And they're going to tell, okay, sir, okay. Okay, take off your stethoscope for a second. This is Dr. Hey, doc, introduce yourself. The paramedics are here. I was handling my handle. When I look back at the movie, I can't believe the woman that I am, because I'm still that girl. So I can't say I can't believe the woman I was. I can't believe the woman I am. I was plotting a divorce. I was telling an intern she can do it too, and being kind at the same time. I was telling the studio audience, don't worry, I'll see you tomorrow. And they're crying, but Wendy, are you okay? And they were giving the security guards things to give me, the ones that carry healing crystals, people who carry, they were taking off their coats to keep me warm. I'm a nurse. Let me come down there. And, we have a security detail here, and their job was to make sure there wasn't a crazy person in the audience to, take pictures and release them or shoot me or steal from the set or do a slip and fall and want to sue the show. You see, all these things were going through my mind as I was laying down, and I was able to look at security. And that's why my same security force is still here, because they were doing their jobs. And my staff and my crew, everybody was doing their jobs. And those same people, every last one of them that were there on that day, still work here today. And more importantly, there are a lot of people here at Wendy that were with me for the first day of the 6-week sneak peek. So they know
Wow.
what I've gone through. The unfortunate part is they thought that I was a physically battered woman because the way Kevin screamed and pounded his fist around here, it's only to be assumed. I would have assumed that he beat me, you know, at home, and that Morel has to cover black and blue marks, and my arms would be, you know, battered and, you know, black and bluey and stuff like that. And I black and blue easily as a person. So then I became very conscious of it after, you know, I was conscious of it all along because Kevin was always so angry. But being on TV, especially HD TV, I was really conscious of it. Like, I don't want to wear sleeveless. You know, I just got blood drawn at the doctor. You know, yeah, I don't wear the Band-Aid anymore, but look, it's black and blue there. That could be where they think he, you know, took me and shook me. He never did that, but he was mentally abusive, but nothing that I couldn't overpower in my own mind and say, you're going to not just regret doing what you've done to me, regardless of the baby and regardless of the baby's mother. Kevin was a serial cheat. Kevin took advantage of me being really kind and being a mother at home. You know, while I'm at home getting this on, the other Kevin is in the city handling business. And, you know, he's my manager and he's my husband and he wants the best for me. I'm at home making sure after braces, Kevin does his homework right there at the office set up in our kitchen with the computer and stuff. And I'm, you know, we had 2 TVs in the kitchen and I'm mixing dinner and I'm being mom. I'm just Wendy at home. I got my robe on, the dog's running around the house, or should I say galloping, a cane corso, galloping around the house. And you know, Big Kevin might come home 1 o'clock in the morning. I didn't even have to ask, you know, what are you doing? Because it could be really closing a business deal, or it could be taking a shower and showering off Sierra, what's her name? No, Sharina Nicole Hudson, the mistress who thinks that he's being faithful to her, I guess. Huh.
Oh. Oh,
So, what did you like about the childhood scene? Did you see that setup for where I was that Wendy then? Did you see my parents bully
yeah,
my and my
yeah.
siblings just kind of stand there like, that Wendy? Did you see me at the birthday party take over?
Yeah,
When they threw
the
me out, I
musical
was like,
chair.
that's okay.
Did that really happen? The musical chair scene where the
Everything in the movie really happened,
really
Tyler. There's
happened?
nothing in the movie that didn't happen. The musical chair scene was in a neighborhood, right? We could have walked to the party, but Lifetime had us driving to the party, which she's in my neighborhood. And you know what? The same girl, I won't say her last name, but a nice Jewish friend of mine, Linda. Linda has been in the audience of the Wendy Williams show, not once, but twice. And a lot of the people that I grew up with there in Ocean Township, and a lot of the people that I've been to college with, and Total, who, you know, tried to beat my behind, they've all been here at the show. They've called up the promotions or the show booking department and gotten booked for the tickets, and they stand in line like everyone else. And I had no idea, because if people that I know call me directly or get my number directly, I'll tell them, look, you're sitting the front row in the whole bit. But yeah, it's you know, growing up is a funny thing. You know, you grow up and you maintain a lot of who you were at 8 years old.
Mhm.
You know, I'm still that girl, and Linda remembers that day very well. I don't care if it's her birthday, I won, and there can only be one winner, and her name is Wendy. That's right. Hmm.
Ah, I
And
feel
then the chair broke, and everybody laughed at me. All right. And then we got kicked out of the party, and my mother was disgusted. All right, and I'll fix you too, mom. And I,
that's so
before
funny.
my mother passed away, my mother
Mhm.
and I were girls for many years. You know, when you're young, she's that woman, you know, who you can't wait to get away from and go to college. And then when you're in college, she's that woman that really doesn't understand what you're doing in college, and whatever with these. I wasn't a classroom person, but I did graduate on time from Northeastern University. I didn't waste my parents' money. And then when I was in my 20s, my mom and dad didn't understand who I was. They don't understand the radio and the dish in the dirt and the music I'm playing. They just knew that they heard that I could be embarrassing, some of the things that I said. They didn't know about me. They had to learn about a lot of me through listening to their friends
Mhm.
listen to the radio, but their friends liked it. Their friends their age liked it, and their kids liked it, and their grandkids liked it. But it was a necessary story to tell, and I hope that you all can appreciate the growth that you can also make without giving up who you are. I acted a certain way towards Kevin because I didn't want him to pick up on what I was really doing.
Mhm.
You know, if you cheat on me again, I that was one line that kind of rubbed me because I never approached him with this. And if you cheat on me again, I'd be like, oh, okay. You're on the cell phone, the driveway scene. You're on
Just
the cell
thought.
phone. All right. I know where you were last night. It's
Mhm.
okay. Yeah, I got to go to work. Um, Steak and potatoes for dinner with a side of broccoli rabe. I'll see you later. In the meantime, I'm cursing him out the whole drive to work. I'm driving with my knees, and I'm going to the radio station, and I am on the phone with the accountants, the firm, because at this point in my life, it's not H&R, whatever, with the firm and with the estate planners and with the bankers and with the insurance people and with the real estate people and with my divorce attorney and with the private eye and then with my mom and dad and my mom. And I'm talking to my mom like, Mom, you can't believe what I'm doing. My mom was cheering me on. My mom did not like Kevin, and Kevin was at my mom's funeral, and I asked my dad, I called him up privately. I said, Daddy, I really want to call Kevin to ask him to come, only because mommy is you and mommy are the only parents that he knows. He grew up in Brownsville and didn't graduate from high school, and his mom and he had a really messed up relationship. And she was the first person I contacted once I established being boyfriend and girlfriend with Kevin. I said, give me your mom's number. He didn't want me to do it. He didn't want me to do it. And I thought I was surprising him and doing a nice thing by getting his sister, his brother, and his mother up to my condo. We lived in Jersey in a condo that I bought. He didn't have a credit score or anything like that yet. And we weren't married at that point. He was just my boyfriend, but we were living together. But it was my fabulous 3-bedroom duplex condo with the marble bathrooms and the chandeliers everywhere. And I'm on the radio. He didn't know radio lived like that, but well, it doesn't in a lot of cases, even today, but it does if you're a thoroughbred, of which I am. And so the relationship still was really horrible with them. And my father was very happy that Kevin would be there and wanted to come. And my son was very happy. My son's most important thing that, Mom, whatever makes you happy. I said, no, Kevin, whatever makes you happy, talking to my son. And the three of us were there, and there was a fight that ensued, and it involved my brother and my nephew. And my brother is 53 to my nephew's 25. There was curse words. My mother has the open casket. I'm looking. Chaos ensued. And basically, it was my ex-husband who broke up the fight. He asked my permission first. He said, Wendy, I know what I've done, and I'm really, really sorry. He always apologizes to me. And I'm like, Kevin, it is what it is. We would have been divorced anyway at this point. I'm disappointed in you, and I've outgrown you. So we will co-parent young Kevin, and we're going to be civilized to each other, and we're going to see each other at his graduations and at his weddings or whatever he does. They're telling me that I have to get off the phone. Tyler, you have time for one more question, and then you must go.
One more question. Okay. I mean, this is for pride.com. So I guess I wanted to talk to you about just, I saw you at New York Pride a couple years ago. So just what it means to you to kind of be this like big figure in like the gay community, and if that meant anything to you. I mean, I'm sure it does.
It means everything to me. The gay community is the very foundation of my career. When straight people, were not getting my jokes and my things, the gay community and Black women were getting it. And now the Wendy brand is an everybody brand. Everybody tunes in, young, old, Black, white, so on. But it all started even before you were born, over 35 years ago, with gay people. And I don't know what the attraction is because I'm not a gay person and I've never been a gay person. And I don't want to try a gay lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I'm straight. But I love, maybe it's that we just share a love of expression.
Yeah. I
And
think
now you must go. And before I let Tyler go, everybody, I want you to rewind this interview and chuckle all through that while Tyler is supposed to be interviewing me, I've taken over as I usually end up doing, and I've interviewed him, and he's supposed to say goodbye to me, and it's nice having this time with you, but watch me end it. Tyler, it's been wonderful. Thank you for taking time to be with me today, and I will be watching Wendy's project on Lifetime tomorrow night. It's at 8 o'clock. It's the Wendy Williams biopic, which is what Tyler saw, and also the dramatic documentary following. And then she will crash through the double doors on Monday and deliver you who she is still. I love you for watching, and so does Tyler. Bye.
Thank you.